Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is my pleasure to welcome you to our Shabbat Evening Service here at Temple Emeth, and to say Bruchim Habayim and welcome you to the Rabbi Louis J. Siegel Sanctuary here in Teaneck, New Jersey. If you are joining our service on live stream this evening, I'd like to say welcome to you. This evening, our prayer book is Mishkan Tefillah for Youth. And if you have a copy of that at home, you can bring it to the computer. If you don't have a copy of Mishkan Tefillah for Youth, you can still access one in flipbook format by going to our live stream page at emeth.org/livestream, scrolling down to where it says to access the Siddur prayer book, and then clicking on Mishkan Tefillah for Youth. That will open up the prayer book on your screen, preferably on a second device, and you'll be able to follow along with each song and prayer and page number of our service. Welcome to those of you who are here in the sanctuary this evening. You also need a copy of Mishkan Tefillah for Youth. It's on the table right outside the sanctuary doors. So if you didn't get one on your way in, you can get one right now as we begin our service. Our service is going to begin with the lighting of our Shabbat Candles, which is found in your Siddur on page 4, and it is preceded by an opening reading. To honor us with the lighting of the Shabbat Candles, we call upon Temple member Linda Postganzer.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu la'asok b'divrei Torah. L'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
The theme of this family Shabbat is welcoming everyone back from your summer adventures and welcoming you back to a year of education, both in your secular schools and at our Temple Emeth Religious School, which begins this Sunday. Yay. And so one of the ways that we will welcome you back is with a story about a great teacher a little bit later in our service. But right now we're going to sing a song about the blessings with which we welcome Shabbat. And so the song is not in the book, so you'll have to listen closely, but I think if you listen closely, you will hear about the symbol of candles, about the symbol of Kiddish wine and challah, and I hope that you will sing along. Please join with the cantor.
Light the candles, sing the blessing, sing Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Lehadlik ner is the best thing, sing Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Say the Kiddush, sing the blessing, sing Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Pri Hagafen is the best thing, sing Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Motzi lechem is the best thing. Sing Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom.
A moment ago, I welcomed you all into the sanctuary and to our service with the words Bruchim Habaim. It means welcome, but literally it means a blessing for those who have come here. And so the idea of welcome is tied together with the idea of blessing, and the same Hebrew word, or the root of that word that I said a moment ago, I said Bruchim Habaim, and that the root of that word is also found on page 22 with the next prayer that we're going to do, the idea being that part of welcoming and part of being welcomed is the understanding that we've come here to bless God. And so when we understand that we've come here to bless God, we are all part of the service together, and those words of welcome reach even deeper. Please rise, and we turn to page 22 for the Baruch Hu. We remain standing and we turn to pages 34 and 35. They are the pages that are yellow and have the big letter Shin right in the middle. And on pages 34 and 35, we now join together in singing the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'ayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam libanecha vidibarta bam Vishivtecha bevetecha uvelachtecha vaderech uvishachbecha uvekumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha ve'ayu letodafot beineinecha uchtavtam al mizuzot beitecha uvisharecha Lema'an tizkiru va'asitam et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We turn now to page 38 in our Siddur, where we find a song called Mi Chamocha. This was the song that our ancestors, the Israelites, sang as they crossed through the Red Sea, leaving slavery and headed to freedom in the wilderness. And this was a moment that they all rejoiced together. So in a way, it was also a kind of a welcome, because they welcomed the chance to be a new community in freedom. They welcomed the chance to sing a song of praise and thanksgiving to God. And the words that they sang are the same as the words that we sing as we join together in Mi Chamocha.
Ya bye 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 bye, ya bye 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 bim bam, ya bye 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 bye, ya bye 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 bim bam, ya bye bye bye, ya bye 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 bim bam, ya bye bye bye, ya bye 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 bim bam. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, norati lo tosei pele, norati lo tosei pele. Ya bye 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 bye, ya bye 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 bim bam, ya bye 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 bye, ya bye 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 bim bam, ya bye bye bye, ya bye 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 bim bam, ya bye 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 bye, ya bye 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 bim bam. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Ze'eli, ano ve'ameru Adonai imloch le'olam va'edei. Ya bye 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 bye, ya bye 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 bim bam, ya bye 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 bye, ya bye 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 bim bam, ya bye bye bye, ya bye 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 bim bam, ya bye bye bye, ya bye 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 bim bam. ונאמר כפר אדוני את יעקב לא מן חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל.
We turn now to page 43 in our Siddur, and at the top of the page we find an English translation of the Hashkibenu, the prayer that asks for God's special protection when we sleep. Please read with me in English at the top of the page. You are with us at all times, God, when we sleep and when we wake. When it is dark, we turn to you for light. When we are afraid, we turn to you for courage. When we feel weak, we turn to you for strength. Be with us tonight and always. Help us to know you are there. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom Elenu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. As we turn the page, we now join together in singing a special song for Shabbat. At the top of page 44, we join together in singing Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam. V'yom hashvi'i Shabbat v'yinafash, Shabbat v'yinafash, Shabbat v'yinafash. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot
turn now in our Siddur to page 98, where we find the opening words of the Tefillah. You'll know you're on the right page because there's a big letter, Hebrew letter Samech, in the middle of page 98, and there's a book. The word for book is Siddur. The word for book is Sefer. It starts with a Samech. And maybe it's hard to tell because there are no words here, but it might be a prayer book. The word for prayer book is Siddur. It also starts with a Samech. And so we turn now to page 98. Please rise if you are able for the Amidah.
Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagi tehillatcha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Anorai, El Elyon, Kol Mel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Akol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah.
We turn now to page 103 and we read together in English. O God, as we remember all you do, we make this promise to try to be like you. We will work to raise up those who fall, heal those who are sick, free those who are in need. As your partners, we will support the poor, feed the hungry, house the homeless, befriend the lonely, and give hope to all people. We will be caring Jews. As you have helped us live better lives, we shall help others. We praise you, O God, who gives meaning to our lives. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to everything. We turn the page and read together. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. A Shabbat service always includes a prayer for peace, and our prayer for peace this evening is found on page 114. You'll notice if you're paying close attention that page 114 has a moon and a sun, because even though every service has a prayer for peace, the words are slightly different in the evening than in the morning. So this is an evening service, so we're going to go for the one that has the moon. Thanks for paying attention. We join together. Grant true and lasting peace to your people Israel, for you are the ruler and source of all peace. May it please you to bless your people Israel with peace always, at every moment and in every hour. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. We take a moment now for Tefillat Halev, the opportunity to offer to God the prayer of our hearts. Readings for this moment of silence are found on pages 116 and 117. It is my pleasure to welcome to the Bima and to welcome back to a new school year at Temple Emeth the sweet singers of Eitz Chaim. They came in this week before religious school had even officially started. I mean, we served them pizza. It wasn't like there was nothing in it for them. But we served them pizza, and then they came in for a special rehearsal to learn a song for this evening and start getting ready for their many other appearances over these holidays that are coming up. And so now it is my pleasure to call upon Eitz Chaim, our junior choir, to sing Hine Ma Tov.
We had our first rehearsal of the year on this past Wednesday, and we learned one new song, a beautiful melody for Hine Ma Tov. What better way to welcome us back to the year than to sing about how wonderful it is that all of us can be here together. And we started working on our music for Rosh Hashanah. And so I hope you'll come back then and hear us sing our special song about the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. Right now, we're going to sing the Hine Ma Tov of Rick Recht.
Thank you, and Yasher Koach to Eitz Chaim, our junior choir. It sounded great, and we look forward to hearing you so many more times over the course of these holidays and the course of the fall and the course of our new school year. Our service continues now with our Torah service, Seder Kriyat HaTorah. The beginning of the Torah service is found in your Siddur in Mishkan Tefillah for Youth on page 121. This is our Torah. Its words are the same ones that our parents and our grandparents read. In all times and all places, its words never change. May our children and grandchildren and their children and grandchildren read its words as well. In this scroll is everything that has made the Jewish people special from Mount Sinai until today. Torah teaches us love and justice, goodness and hope and freedom. Please rise if you are able as we take the Torah from the Ark.
Ki mitzion teitze Torah, ki mitzion teitze Torah, udvar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Gadlul Adonai iti, u'niremima shema yachtav. Lecha Adonai hagedula ve'hagevura ve'atiferet ve'anetzach ve'ad. Ki chol b'shamayim uva'aretz, ki chol b'shamayim uva'aretz. Lecha Adonai olam
seated. This week's Torah portion is Parashat Ki-Teitzei. We find it in the book of Deuteronomy. And as we're getting ready to hear the Torah portion, maybe there are some people in the room who went to camp this summer. Maybe there are people who went on vacation or, visited someone. Raise your hand if you lost anything this summer, like maybe your keys or your sunglasses, your cell phone, maybe a sweater or a jacket. Yes, I see hands all over the sanctuary. Now, I wasn't surprised by that. Now, here's the real question. Raise your hand if somebody got it back to you after you lost it, that thing was returned to you. Hey, there are people who raised their hands twice. They lost something and it was returned to them. Guess what? The person who returned that thing to you was fulfilling a mitzvah in this week's Torah portion, because this week's Torah portion talks about things that go astray. It specifies animals and clothing. The Torah did not foresee us losing our cell phones. Let's put it that way. However, it does pretty much say anything that gets lost, if you find it, you have to return it. The obligation is not on the person who lost it to go around asking, have you seen it? The obligation is on the person who found it to go around asking, have you lost it? And so for those of you who raised your hands, I don't know if you knew it at the time, and I don't know if you would have felt right saying it, but you could have said, returning this thing to me, as you just did, was a mitzvah, because this week's Torah portion proves that is so. And so you may follow along as I read this week's Torah portion, Parashat Ki-Teitzei. If you're here in the sanctuary, I'll be reading, no matter where you are, I'll be reading from Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 1. If you're here in the sanctuary, you can find that verse on page 1485 in the large blue Torah books. And if you are watching us at home, then you might have a copy of the revised Torah commentary. And if that's the case, you can find the same verse, Deuteronomy 22, verse 1, on page 1323. For the honor of having an aliyah this evening, we call upon Sheldon Bernstein.
Thank you. I ask the rabbi's indulgence to say a few words because this is a youth service, and I spent too many years as a teacher to let a teaching moment pass. You're going to hear me chanting a few verses, a few prayers. This is something which every Jewish boy and girl recite for the first time for real at their own bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah. It was recited by me 67 years ago. Do the math. It means I'm pushing 80. And to this day, I remember the words completely and totally, as did my father and my grandfather and my great-great-great-grandfather before me. So when the time comes and you get up here to say the words, to say the prayers for your B'nai Mitzvot, remember this and remember to teach them diligently to your children. Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, so you can let me find this one here. Okay, put your one hand right there.
Not my first rodeo, sir.
And I'm going to be starting right there.
Yes. Baruchu et Adonai HaMavorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMavorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMavorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bocha bonu mikol ha'amim v'notan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Lo tir'eh et shor achicha o et seyo nidachim v'hit alamta mehem Hashev tishivem le'achicha, v'im lo karov achicha elecha velo yirato, v'asafto אל תוך ביתו, והיה עמך עד דרוש אחיך אותו, והשב אותו לו, וכן תעשה לחמורו, וכן תעשה לשמלתו, וכן תעשה לכל עבודת אחיך, אשר תאבד ממנו, ומצאת לא תוכל להתעלם. לא תראה את חמור אחיך, או שורו נופלים בדרך, והתעלמת מהם, הקם תקים עמו.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah Emeth. Aha, there you go. V'chayei shalom, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Spoke too soon.
Yashikach.
Thank you.
This time our thoughts turn to those in need of healing as we prepare to offer a Mishaberach for healing, which is found in your Siddur on page 125. If you are thinking of someone in need of healing and you're watching us on live stream, I invite you to share the name of your loved one in the chat or comment section of the live stream platform. And similarly, for those of you here in the sanctuary, if you're thinking of someone in need of healing, I invite you to share the name of your loved one out loud or in your heart at this time. In just a moment, we will see the names of our temple members in need of healing and their loved ones on our screen. To those names, we add Irma Rosenfeld and Arthur Schwach as we turn to page 125 and we join together in the Mishaberach.
Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikol habracha. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
We continue now with the lifting and dressing of the Torah. Please rise if you are able for Hagba and Galila.
V'zot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael, al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Yalalai lai lai lai. Lay la lay la lay 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 yay lay la lay 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 yay lay la lay la la lay ya lay la la lay 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 shalom. hold fast to it, all its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to those that hold fast to it, all its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom.
You may be seated unless you have a birthday in the month of September, or you had a birthday in the month of August, because we didn't really have a family service in August. We gave no lollipops away in the month of August, so if you have a September or August birthday, come on up to the bima for a birthday blessing.
I think you forgot July.
July? That was a long time ago. I guess the lollipop will taste just as good in September for a July birthday. Okay, anybody else? Okay, somebody else.
Hi. I miss you.
When's your birthday?
September 18th.
Amazing.
I don't know if I could be able to do it because I have very bad eyes.
That's okay. Don't talk about it before then. Happy birthday.
Maybe do July and June.
Uh-oh.
All right, definitely didn't do
I'll tell you what happened in June.
We definitely had a family service in June, so I take no responsibility for June. That's on you. All right, so for all of our folks celebrating in September or August or other months of the calendar, it is my pleasure on behalf of your temple family to wish you a very happy birthday. As you begin a new year of your life, it is a time of celebration, a time of reflection, and a time of blessing. We hope that you have the blessings of close ones, relatives, friends near you, but we also are pleased to offer this blessing here in the sanctuary.
Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai hanav elecha v'chunecha.
May God's light shine down upon you, and may God be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God's Spirit lift you up, and may God give you shalom, the gift of peace, now and always. And let us say, Amen. And we join together, first in Hebrew, and then in English.
Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear everyone, happy birthday to you. Tom.
Tom, don't start too big. We have another 12 months to go. All right. Okay, well, this is my first time telling a story at a family service since our rules changed and we don't require social distancing anymore. And therefore, it is my pleasure to welcome all the young people in the sanctuary to meet me at the foot of the steps so that you can see all the pictures in our story called, I'll tell you in a minute what it's called. Okay, come have a seat right here on the floor. I haven't done this in a long time. Okay, here we all are. So it is our welcome back to the school year service. And so I chose a story for you called Hillel Takes a Bath. Now, it's one of those books where the title gives away the ending, unfortunately. I'm not a big fan of those, the spoilers in the title. But here's what I would like you to think about as I'm reading the story. Hillel is a teacher. He has a class of students, not unlike yourselves. And I'm going to give you a little foreshadowing that he asked the students a question that they really can't possibly know the answer to, and yet, the students still raise their hands and they guess. You may not like raising your hand when you don't know the answer for sure. However, in this story, you can see that there is value in raising your hand, even if it's to take a guess. Number one. Number two is, they're guessing. A lot of the students in this book get it wrong, but look how Hillel teaches his class even when one of his students guesses wrong. Here we go. This book is called Hillel Takes a Bath. Rabbi Hillel came to school one day with a large linen cloth on his shoulder and a twinkle in his eye. "Today, I will use this cloth to do a mitzvah," he said to his class. He whisked the cloth off his shoulder and snapped it in the air. "What do you think I will do?" The rabbi's students were puzzled and delighted. They never knew from one day to the next what their teacher would do in order to help them learn to follow God's ways. Why, one time a man challenged Rabbi Hillel to teach the whole Torah to him while he balanced on one foot. And their wise and mischievous teacher had accepted the challenge. He said, "Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. That is the whole Torah. Now go and study." The man had sheepishly put his foot back down and signed up for some classes. The students whispered together to find an answer. I'm sure the first one raised its hand like this. "Will you give it to a poor man to use as a blanket?" asked one. It was a guess, right? Maybe it was a good guess. Here's the answer. "Giving tzedakah is an important mitzvah," said Rabbi Hillel. "It reminds us that everyone deserves justice and mercy in God's world, but that is not what I will do with this cloth today." "Will you spread it on your table to get it ready for Shabbat?" asked another. "Keeping Shabbat is an important mitzvah," said Rabbi Hillel. "It reminds us that we must keep our holy day special to honor God, but that is not what I will do with this cloth today." "Will you make it into a tent so that your parents can sit in the cool shade?" asked a third. "Honoring one's parents is an important mitzvah," said Rabbi Hillel. "It reminds us of everything that God commanded us at Mount Sinai, but that is not what I will do with this cloth today." All right, so 3 guesses. They were all good guesses. Were any of them correct guesses? No. But do you think the kids learned something from all the wrong guesses? He taught them 3 different mitzvot, even though the 3 guesses were all incorrect. The students thought and talked. They talked and thought. For each new answer, Rabbi Hillel praised them for thinking of an important mitzvah. But each time, Hillel would tell them, "But that is not what I will do with this cloth today." At last, the students could think of nothing more. "Tell us, Rabbi," they pleaded, "what other mitzvah can you possibly do with this cloth?" "Ah," said Rabbi Hillel, "today I will use this cloth to dry myself after I take a bath." "Take a bath?" exclaimed the surprised students. "How can taking a bath be a mitzvah?" "Ah," said Rabbi Hillel, "let's think about that while we take a walk." Rabbi Hillel picked up his cloth and led his students out of the classroom. Anytime you follow your teacher out of the school, it's called a... Sometimes your parents have to sign a special form, so you go. Sometimes it's on a bus. Sometimes it's by carpool. When you leave the school to learn something outside, it's called a field trip. Yes, Rabbi Hillel took them on a... Did you say that? You said it so quietly I didn't hear you. You get credit for saying it too. All right. He took them on a field trip. I didn't see any permission slips, but I trust Rabbi Hillel nonetheless. They walked through the city until they came to the marketplace. It was an open, busy plaza where people of the city came every day to buy and sell and conduct their business. "Look," Rabbi Hillel said to his students, "tell me what you see at the end of the plaza." There they are walking through the city. Okay, and this is going to have maybe a little extra meaning because there is a new king in England today, because even in Hillel's time there was a king. And the students said, "It is a statue of the king." "And what are the workers doing?" asked Rabbi Hillel. "They are cleaning the statue," said another student. "And why do you think the workers are cleaning the statue of the king?" Rabbi Hillel asked. "Well," said one student, "the statue is made in the image of the king. If the people allowed it to become dirty, it would show lack of respect for the king." "So," said Rabbi Hillel, "these people work hard every day to keep the statue gleaming in order to honor the king." Rabbi Hillel paused for a moment before asking his next question. He wanted his students' full attention. And there they are, watching the workers clean the statue of the king, not far from the classroom. "And in whose image are we made, you and I?" he asked. All the students answered together, for they had learned this lesson well. "We are made in God's image." "Yes," said Rabbi Hillel. "So how can I use this cloth to honor God?" "You can take a bath," the students laughed. "Right," said Rabbi Hillel. "When we keep ourselves clean, we honor God, and that is why taking a bath is an important mitzvah." Lesson learned. Rabbi Hillel smiled at his students and sent them home. Then he went to take his bath. And there he goes. End of the lesson, end of the school day in Rabbi Hillel's classroom, and the end of our story, which was called Rabbi Hillel Takes a Bath, by Vicki L. Weber, illustrated by John Joven. Hope you liked the story. You may now go back and sit with your families again.
That's a good story, Rabbi.
Oh, thanks, Cantor. I didn't write it. I only chose. Okay. Our service continues now with the Elenu, which is found in your Siddur on page 130. Please rise if you are able for the Elenu.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gdula liotzer b'reishit, shelo asanu kikoyeh haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpchot adama, shelo sam chelokenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kichol amonam, v'anachnu koreim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני
We remain standing for the Mourner's Kaddish. The reading to introduce the Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 132. As our service ends, we think about people whose lives have ended. Some of them we knew and they were very special to us. We loved them and we missed them very much. Others we did not know, but we honor them as well. This Shabbat, we remember those for whom we're in the Shloshim 30-day period of mourning. Ricardo Cruz, remembered by Abby Schlechtman. Dorothy Gibbs, mother of Barbara Kornfeld. Jeanette Goodman, a member of Temple Emeth, wife of Michael Goodman and mother of Danielle Foyer. Charles Morphopoulos, cousin of Ina Silverstein. Philip Adler, nephew of Peter Adler. Stuart Gluck, remembered by Abby Schlechtman. Gabriela Abramovich, remembered by Florette Koffler. And Frida Fisher, remembered by Temple Emeth. We remember as well those whose yard sites occurred this week. Mildred Berlin-Rude, Philip Byrne, Anna Bookstaver, Julia Butensky, Jenny Chellimer, Ralph Clark, Rose Cohen, Barbara Dillon, Bess Ehrlich Blumenfeld, Isidore Felber, Celia Foyer, Stephen Gould, Nettie Gutman, Howard Kaplan, Helen Feder Carlin, Mark Klausner, Fred Cohn, Sid Crivet Chase, Pearl Lehman, George Lehrman, Leopold Lipman, Barney Quint, Natalie Rappaport, Helen Gerwit Saltzman, Dana Salzman, Adam Sandler, Willard Arthur Schooley, Esther Estelle Schutz, Helen Sirota, Rachel Sevi, Daniel Simon, Albert Stiftel, Herbert Weinstein, David Wertheimer, and Paula Weiss. And we remember the names of 6 of the 6 million who perished in the Holocaust: Isaac Orvitz, Simcha Ort, Henia Oserowitz, Nachum Oserowitz, Moisei Orshansky, and Judith Oshitsky. We remember them all. We take them into our hearts with our own as we turn now to page 134, and we join together in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. Be'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'yizman karib v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivorach leolam u'almei almaya. Yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitzpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha b'rechu. Le'ela minkol birchatav shirata, tushbechatav v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim Elenu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Elenu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. It is my pleasure at this time to call upon Stacy Butler, a member of our Board of Trustees, to offer Shabbat greetings and announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it's my pleasure to welcome you to our family Shabbat service. Our religious school program for grades K through 7 begins this Sunday, September 11th. A welcome service at 9 a.m. will be followed by a parents' meet and greet. Registration is now open as we prepare for a great year. The Temple is offering a junior congregation program for children in grades K through 7 on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Flyers are available in the hallway. To bring in the high holidays and mark our 75th anniversary, Temple Emeth is selling 8-ounce jars of locally made honey for $18. Call the office to reserve your jar. Do you have a loved one at college this fall? Temple Emeth's College Kids program keeps them connected to our synagogue and the Jewish community at large. Students get holiday gift packages throughout the school year. Applications are available in the Temple Emeth lobby. The Social Action Committee is looking for volunteers to write postcards from home as part of the Reclaim Our Vote campaign. You can pick up a kit at the Temple this Sunday, September 11th at 10:45 a.m. See the weekly email for details on the project. The High Holy Day season begins with Slichot next Saturday, September 17th at 8 p.m. We'll feature a concert called Broadway Brings Us Back, performed by Josh Cohane with guest Nate Llewellyn and accompanist Tom Mustachio. Around 9 p.m., we'll have our Slichot service and change our Torah covers to white. As we approach the High Holy Days, please remember that the Temple requests your annual voluntary commitment pledge and 25% of the pledge. We depend on your generous participation to help cover our expenses so we can continue to provide all of the outstanding services and programs Temple Emeth has to offer. Finally, the Strategic Planning Steering Committee has scheduled focus groups throughout September. Please refer to the email that you received from Temple Emeth this past Tuesday for dates, times, and locations of these listening sessions. Please RSVP to the Temple office. It's important that we hear your thoughts about the future of Temple Emeth. And thank you to this evening's volunteers in the live stream control room. Amanda Eastman and Pauline Hecht are at the controls this evening. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, and I'd like to announce that immediately following our service, our Oneg Shabbat is going to be in the hallway. We have a family renting the youth lounge, and we didn't want to bother them. We didn't want them to bother us, so our Oneg will be in the hallway. If you see someone who doesn't look like a temple member because they haven't been sitting here for the last hour, it means they're probably one of our guests. So you can wish them Shabbat Shalom, and they're here for a bar mitzvah, I think. So you could also wish them Mazel Tov if you see them in the hallway. We are going to continue now with the Friday night Kidoush, which is found in the Siddur way back at the beginning on page 6. And so I'd like to invite up all of our young people. Okay, now go stand in the middle. That's your cue to stand in the middle. I'd like to invite all of our young people to come up on the bima to help us recite Kidoush, because we have super duper parents Stacy Butler and Robert Blitz here to offer you a cup of grape juice and a slice of challah. And we're going to continue now with the Kiddush. Please rise if you are able. Okay, once you have it, face the congregation so we can see you. All right, Paul.
Don't drink.
I'm going to raise the cup. Okay. Like wine, Shabbat is sweet. We lift this cup to celebrate the love of family and the joy of living. We sing the Kiddush and taste the wine to remind us that Shabbat is a day of sweetness and love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagofen.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadsha b'avav ratzon idchilanu, zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tefillah le'mikrai kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'anim b'shabbat kodesh be'ahava u'v'ratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai b'Kaddish HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. And we join together in the Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
We have reached the end of our service. That means if you've been watching us on live stream, it's your last chance to post something in the chat or comment section of the live stream platform, like Shabbat Shalom or welcome back to a great new year. Or you can simply write in the chat or comment section the words that we're going to say to one another as we conclude our service. We say Shabbat Shalom. Okay, Shabbat Shalom.